Oil lamps. Intricate works of art crafted by talented people across the globe for thousands of years to light every aspect of our lives outside of the daylight. Let's talk about making them out of trash. Alright, right up top, if you are in an emergency situation right now and you are looking for a lamp, this is not the place to look, try to find somewhere else, but I will go ahead and try and do a quick one for you. This is the most simple design I got. It is literally just an energy drink can, crumpled up white t-shirt, dipped into just full of vegetable oil. It's gonna take a second to get lit, I can promise that much. All you need is one, it'll get the other going. Okay, moving on to slightly more complicated. Same can, except I coiled it around inside this one. That way the wick lays over top and curls up onto the top of the can. And the ash, when it burns through flat, will fall down into the can. It's a little more complicated, but it's worth it long term. I'm gonna leave this one going just off camera. You should probably still see some smoke whipping through fame every so often. I'm gonna use that to light all the next ones. Okay, moving on in simplicity. I'm gonna put this guy out just because, as you can see, it's going fine. It's got plenty of wick. Actually, not. Set it behind camera too. I've got a delightful camera woman making sure I don't burn everything down. There's a big chunk of leather to toss over. Okay, moving on in simplicity. Next up, literally a mead bottle with a copper pipe stuck down in it with a wick. I'm gonna quietly get this lit and then we'll talk about it. My neighbor's pulling down the driveway. Actually, I'm dumb. I gotta light this on camera or else people won't believe me. You know how it is. Okay. Now, if you are going to use these inside, this is the one I recommend. It's a small candle-sized flame. It's manageable. It's gonna let the smoke go straight up and not straight at me. You go over here. Okay. The reflector, especially for my camping stove, but this thing throws a ton of light, more than you'd expect. So it's just held on with a little bit of craft wire, nothing crazy. You could use a coat hanger or literally anything. When it gets dark, I'm gonna use some shots filming with this, show you how well it works. Improvised ring light, if you will. Alright, well, it is later, it is dark, and we've got these things cooking. Gonna let those burn out behind me. I'm gonna try and make this quick. I am on a, lamp timer. I don't know how well this is gonna come through lit up wise, but should work pretty well. Alright, these last two designs. I already got through this one. Here's this guy. Switch the reflector out to this one. This one I have a split wick. It gives me a little bit more freedom to spread the light and how much I want it. The reflector, as I was saying, it puts out a lot of light. Hoping I'm proving my point with the camera. It's not a really dim shot of me. But this thing, all I'm using is needle nose pliers or a multi-tool. I got that just off camera. And I just, every so often keep tugging it out through there like that. This one came in. That's why I originally had this on the Navy bottle. But The last design that I have is my favorite because it draws on historical designs. It's a little elaborate. I made it in my car on my lunch break, but I really like it. So it is a gumbo can. I have a bamboo stick running through the inside that I then lashed onto these two to hold it up like a little lamp. I have the cotton running through a hole in the side, and then I lash down using the tab from the lid to make a tray running along this bamboo stick that holds a nice small flame from the wick. This one is a much more effective slow burn, slow time, taking a shower, like I was saying before, using the bathroom. These are not meant to be a replacement for your lantern, your backup plans, your bug out bag, LEDs. Not what this is for. But I'll tell you what this is for. You spend some time doing normal tasks with this instead. Every minute you do that, that's one more minute that LED can be used in a much more stressful and important scenario. So, suffer a little bit more now, a little more discomfort now. You'll have more comfort, more safety, more security later. Now, I'm going to break down the general pieces of this. The oil fuel that I'm using is very, very simple. It's probably getting a little dim in the frame, don't worry. I'm going to lighten things back up by a good bit here. There we go, like I was saying. Now I'll set this guy on the other side of the camera. Get a little more even lighting. All the components. I'm using regular kitchen vegetable oil. Sorry. Strips of cotton t-shirt. It needs to be 100% pure cotton if you use a t-shirt. I've used hemp cord. It works a little bit worse, but it does work if you need that. You can also buy regular, real candle wicks from the store, and they will work like a charm, as you can guess. You can see how long these wicks will get. Now this, if you're carrying this with you, this is a great way to start a fire. Drop this in your tinder bundle, extend your fire for a while. Don't worry, I'm on wet gravel. And proof of concept here, give it a little tug with the needle nose, spread out the new bit. This guy's still going. All you gotta do, pull it through. You can use your fingers. It's not very fun, but you can if you have to. You can also use a stick, but look at that, little lamp. Now, for this application, the best thing I recommend, these are great writing and reading lamps if you want a fun project. As you can see, the vegetable oil requires a good bit of wick trimming and maintenance, but one, I also didn't prime these wicks very well, but two, you can use K1 kerosene or something like that. Again, it's not, made for that, but it will work like a charm, and you can use that inside safely, with quotation marks. It is still kerosene, but it is made for indoor heaters. Any fuel can be used. You can use anything you have to. Recommendations are going to be olive oil for a really nice smell. And then, as I was saying before, if I had to pick one to rely on, I'd choose kerosene. But just about everybody in a power outage is going to have some kind of bottle, jar, cotton t-shirt, and some olive oil. Now, this guy, I'm going to put this little guy out. There you go. See, it's a nice little ember bundle, but you kind of crimp it out, let it burn. Again, good way to get our other fire started. But these guys have the same design in that they are just a copper tube wrapped with leather for cushioning to give me some, effectively a corking effect. It's not watertight or oil tight, but it works. So you can see here, I'm going to lift this guy out. There's that cotton t-shirt. You can see how saturated that wick is, I hope. Drop that down in. This one works exactly the same. Only difference is for a bit of a style flare and to actually help hold this reflector still. I just ran it through a deer vertebrae that I had that was the right diameter. Worked out great. Really nice. Very happy about that. And I mean it when I say this is the exact same design down inside. A little collar to hold that in place, but pull that out. A little bit of leather holding it in place. There's that wick. This one's actually almost done. That explains it. This one almost needs a new wick. Keep on tugging, but one last shot. Let me get all of them going. See what it looks like. Come on. This section I'm not worried about cutting up because it is just me breaking down how these things work. It's not to prove necessarily that they do work, but if I can get a good uninterrupted clip of me lighting all of them in succession, that would be nice. Is it about to do that for me? I've been trying to film this thing for like 3 hours, and it has just been non-stop noises and problems. Alright, look at that. Set this down. I am actually filming at this point on the back of my car with some buckskin down, so not ideal. But you may get a slight view of our lovely camera lady. She's not usually there, but this way, here they all are. As you can see, they put off a decent bit of smoke, but in a pinch, it's not bad. Start with the most basic one. Literally just a can with a stick or a wick made of t-shirt sticking out of it. That's all. There she goes. Same concept, coiled around here. Have a little ash reservoir inside the energy drink can instead. There she goes. These two, lovely, great for reading. The reflector works relatively well. There that one goes. This little guy, I love him. It's working great. Probably gonna actually use this one a lot for reading and for future videos. And lastly, this guy, this is the single most applicable one, I think, in terms of actually using for camping, venturing, trekking, scouting, what have you. You just keep tugging little bits out, and you lay it down in that little tray. And the size of tray lets you really pick out how much of this wick you want to be on fire. You can just fold it back over and look at that. Much smaller flame. Tuck it under itself. Much smaller flame. Alright guys. I don't know how this video is going to be fully cut up, but I'm 90% sure this is going to end up being the actual end. But if this is the actual end, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope these help you, or at least give you something fun to do. See you next time.